What up, tribe? It's your girl Raji, and I'd like to welcome you to my podcast, The Kush Concierge, something for the people, where the evolved hustler comes to learn more about hoodoo, tarot, astrology, culture, and everything in between. So let's just get a quick recap. As you guys know, we are entering the next phase of the first quarter of Impact, which we were working within Redemption. So within Redemption, we were doing shadow work. We were discussing what we would be sewing, and we were working with the intro. The intro was very much focused on your natal chart information. I hope you guys got that guide, and if you were able to purchase the Evolved Hustler e-guide so that you can work with it for the next 41 days starting tomorrow, which is Lent. This is going to be a great portion for you. Now, if you are a part of our Patreon under the Kush Concierge, you do get that natal chart guide for free. So definitely check that out. Let's see. And if you don't, it's only $3.33. I would have charged $1 for it, y'all, but they wouldn't let me. They was like, it has to be at least $3. I was like, oh, how y'all gonna take me up? But okay. All right, so 'tis the season for charging your worth or whatever. But yeah, it's up there for you guys. It's not much at all. It's a great breakdown because the natal chart can very much get difficult to document and read, and before you know it, like, your notebook is full of stuff, and this guide just kind of helps you put everything in its accurate place. So whenever you need to take a look at something for your reference as you go through this journey, you'll be able to look at it and utilize it. If you already did get a chance to download it, there are spaces where I've already pre-filled out information for you. But let's just say you didn't. You didn't. There is an area where there are blank spaces as well, because you do have the tropical information or the sidereal, whichever one you want to use. And then you have the, the Placidus, and it's an area like lots of extra slots there, so you can document the houses, you can document the degrees. We haven't quite gotten into the aspect of degrees just yet. However, we will get into that, but for now, it just gives you the opportunity to fill that information in, like I said, so you can have a point of reference, because that notebook work get heavy, honey. So I just wanted to put something out where y'all could, like, something I felt like I would be able to use too. Like, as I said, previous episodes, we're going through this journey together in terms of me refining my brand and really just stepping into my highest frequency for this Pluto in Aquarius energy. So in the next phase, we're still working with the intro, and we'll work with the intro to begin the Evolved Hustler series, in which you will be putting the information down for what are your key elements that you want to tackle during this time. Let me get that pulled up, and so we can discuss this. Like I said, I have it all pretty and printed for you guys, but obviously, if you not looking to buy the guide, I still want you to kind of know what's going on in terms of getting ready to make this shift, because there's a lot that comes with this that I love and I think is very useful. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on what are your natural gifts and talents. We're going to be focusing on what does your essence look like. We're going to be focusing on what is your new image and how do you look in this new timeline. We're going to be focusing on what are your principles, how do you define your standards, what are your spiritual goals, what do your partnerships and relationships look like this season, what are your health goals, who are your guides and mentors, and what does prosperity look like for you. Okay, so for the next couple of days, we'll start to touch on each of these things as we begin to tap into this identity shifting process. So if you've already got your natal chart, you've already filled out your guide, you can also, in addition to what you think, you can also take a look and see what that 10th house is looking like, what that north node is looking like. So we'll break down areas where you will go in your chart to look for these elements, okay? So yeah, I we'll walk along with this together. We'll start doing it officially tomorrow. So you do still have time to go ahead and purchase that guide and download it. You can print it out and write on it, or you can use it on your tablet or iPad and write it in. Really cool. It's awesome. So let's get into the idea of transformation, okay, and what that means. And I just want to say, stepping into spirituality, stepping into the areas of hoodoo, voodoo, if you're doing Wicca, witchcraft, or if you're just doing you, this is an area of transformation for you right now. And in this era, you're making a very big step. So I just want to, first of all, say I am proud of you for stepping off into spirituality and allowing yourself the opportunity to really dance with your shadows and really refine yourself and just step into the light as who you are authentically. It takes a lot of courage to defy the societal norms, and when a lot of us get into the spiritual world in whatever modality that you choose, sometimes you will receive resistance from those around you that are still indoctrinated or maybe just not quite comfortable with going to the next phase. That does not mean that you don't go to the next phase just because they are not ready. You still will continue to move forward. If you have been called, you definitely need to answer, because at the same time, if you don't answer, spirit and your ancestors, they call this being chosen. So if you don't answer, it's gonna be a lot of shadow work, a lot of dark nights of the soul. You're gonna go through those processes anyway. You're gonna go through those processes anyway, just simply because a lot of undoing has to be done in order for you to come out as yourself, rebirth, like deep transformation type energy, right? When I first got into the aspect of spirituality, I was met with so much resistance, so much so that a lot of my family members, I won't say a lot of but my partner at the time, my child's father, they just weren't feeling that shit. They were intimidated. They were not wanting me to blossom into this person. They were very uncomfortable with what it is that I might be able to do. So you might not experience that. However, it wasn't so much as, I know you guys have heard me in other episodes speak about it, as far as it running through my family and things like that. So there are spiritual gifts in my family. It wasn't as though like the people in my family aren't spiritually gifted. It's more or less like, I hate to say it, like a dick measuring contest. Like who's the purest, who's the cleanest, who's doing this and who's doing that. So a lot of times, people are afraid of your power. People are afraid of who you might become standing next to them. And that's like something I didn't really share with you guys at first. But that is something that you might deal with. Yeah, they know it's possible. Yes, some of my family does trust me in some ways, but sometimes ego gets in the way, fear gets in the way. And like I said, from my personal experience, the fear is more so surrounded by, if you are this powerful, what will you be able to do, versus like me, or feeling like, what might you do if you knew certain things about me as a person. and we won't dwell too hard. Like I said, we're going to say the shadow work for Saturdays this season, but just to give you guys like a overview of what you may incur during this season of your life. And also, even with lovers, like that can be a thing. I have a very interesting story in regards to that as well, because I did have a lover who was just, again, my story is more so centered around people being afraid of me being a little bit more advanced than them. Like they say, most of the time people can see your gifts before you can see your gifts. So I feel like my gifts like intimidated a lot of people. So when you start to explore, and who's to say, you might not, depending on your chart, depending on where you're going with this, you might not even be that deep off into it, but let's just say you are. Even if you are doing your common ancestral practices, a typical family, unless they're rooted in it already, they're going to be like, wondering about your altars and wondering about your practices, and you got to explain. And when you start wearing crystals and different things like that to balance your energy and call in what you want, a lot of that is going to be met with resistance, and blessings to the ones of us who are not met with resistance or competition, that blessings to you. But I just want to speak to those of us who have a little resistance for being chosen, or the chosen one within our family, friend group, business partnerships, or our relationship. These are things you might incur during this transformation process. That's why this doing the work during this 41 days is so pertinent, because you've got to have your foundation set. You know what I'm saying? You've really got to be strong within your faith and your courage and your walk with spirit and your ancestors to know, okay, I'm going this way because it makes sense to me. I've been called, and I won't let anybody shake me from this path. You don't have to. And a lot of times, you get into this and you don't want to operate out of ego. So you don't have to push people around you into what you're doing. Now, I will say it is kind of hard being in a relationship or being around people closely who don't have some form of spirituality that they practice. Like, some people are understanding, but if you ever been around like a diehard Christian or a diehard like type of negative dark energy, like on both ends of the spectrum, it could just be detrimental to what you are attempting to get done in this particular frequency. You feel me? So you don't want to like overlook that. Not, don't walk in ego. Don't deal with people you got to hide shit from. There's a way to do everything, obviously. And you could definitely keep parts of your practice to yourself. Like, okay, if you don't live with these people, then obviously you don't have to make any type of explanation for, your altars and different things like that. When you do get in the modality of reading and really seeing things for what they are, just be very, very careful of stepping into an ego phase of feeling like, you got to kind of tell everybody or tell it on the mountain, because you got to be careful of how people receive that, to the point where, they'll play in your face, your handlers, your agent smiths, your people, they'll play in your face. I had an incident where, like I said, people where I'm very gifted in terms of like my psychic abilities, and naturally so, like bro say, my family, I've always been called a witch. Like, they would always call me a witch, like as a joke, or say little things because I would know stuff. And like I said, they could see my gifts before I did, but they became, okay, I got a perfect fucking example of this shit. Like, y'all remember that movie with Monique where like the girl was the psychic and came to read her, and like the situation was the girl discovered that she had lied, and like Monique ended up being like the murderer in the movie. I think it's on Amazon. But listen, when I tell you that was my real life experience, like I was uncovering secrets and calling people out, and you got to be real careful with that shit. People do not like that type of stuff. And I have a deeper story about that, because I just feel like I knew too much, and that's usually the case. Like I be knowing too much, and that like bothered people, and they did something life changing to me that at this point I'll never look at any of them the same. So you got to be mindful. Use your discernment. Get tight with your ancestors. Do your personal walk in this first before you get out and spread the good word in so many ways, because I've I've shared a lot of friendships. I've shared relationships. I've shared family members just because either I knew too much, they were afraid of my power, or just like simply because they just can't play in your face anymore. Once you decide to develop those clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentient, like once you start tapping into your abilities and you start really seeing people, places, and things for what it is, you'll be like, oh my God, like it's like waking up from a dream. Or like you'll realize like how many people around you are just existing, like soulless bodies just existing, and it's gonna be a shocker. So I'm not finna sit up here and like code it and do toxic positivity with y'all today, because I want you to know that while you will get gratification and you will get, you will be able to be happy and you will be able to move in your purpose, that's going to come with a level of refining, a level of challenge, a level like being chosen is not easy. Deciding you're going to evolve is not easy. We've spent so many years, hundreds of years being trained and being, groomed to be a certain way. And when you step out of line, motherfuckers get tight. Trust me on that. Real life stories, like real life stories, I'm telling you, they get tight. So there are ways to, keep your practice to yourself in some ways. There are ways to have etiquette, I would say, if you will, and be respectful to yourself, because, I know you like, who cares what they think? But nah, be respectful to yourself, because people will do anything to you. They'll try to hurt you. They'll try to commit you. Whole time you think they going along with it, they really plotting behind your back. I'm telling you, it get deep. There are a lot of beautiful sides to spirituality, but there are also shadows to spirituality. And you see the story of Jesus. You see the story of, people who come along and are said to be chosen by God and by spirit and their ancestors to lead and change the way and break curses. You see what time it is. You see what they go through. So use this 41 days wisely. Use this 41 days to really like find yourself and get strong in your faith and strong in your walk and what you are supposed to be doing. This is not one of those get money quick type situations. So if you thought, this is the part where I get serious, because if you thought that this was another hustle, it's not. I'm here to pump the brakes and tell you it's not. It's not. I'm going to be real with you. It gets lonely, and that's because you can see now. Like what Dick Gregory said, once you put on the magic glasses, it's hard to take them bitches off. So just be prepared. There are a lot of beautiful sides, but there are also shadows. There's also darkness. There's also spaces and places where you will exist alone for quite some time. But I want you to know that when we're doing this 41-day period, that's okay. Because when Jesus went to the mount, When in the desert, he was alone. When Moses went in the desert, he was alone. So this is your time to be to yourself in regards to what you're doing. Obviously you might not be physically alone if you work another job, if you have family and friends around, but this is not the time to be sharing with everybody like, I'm doing this, and this. You're going to be excited. You're going to be excited. You're going to want to let the world know. But until you really figure this shit out and until you really map it out, nah, I'm telling you from experience, keep some things to yourself. Keep it on the hush, and then you can, weed through once it's all said and done. Like, straight up learn that shit from experience. Even today, it's difficult to interact with a people that I've known in my past on a close quarter. Some people receive it very well. I've got people that receive it just fine, but then I've also got people that shit, they ain't fucking with it, or they try to sabotage me, or they try to say little things. So it gets weird. Like what they say, you're not supposed to let a demon know you see him. And when I tell you I've made that mistake, I would see a demon and I would call them out. I would be like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. That's like a tip. You're not supposed to do that. And I feel like I'm kind of reminding y'all and telling y'all that because today is Tuesday. Tuesday is ruled by Mars. We are really entering in another phase with all the planets and the aspects going where they're going. And Aries is thick. People are wanting to really speak their piece and say what they got to say. And I'm just letting you know now that a lot of things are going to be possibly misinterpreted or considered to be aggression when it's really passion, or shit, maybe aggression. You know what I'm saying? You might find out something that you ain't really liking. You might find out something you ain't fucking with. Because, again, today the moon is crescent in Aries. So okay, Aries is also ruled by Mars, and Tuesday is about Mars. So I just want to keep it cute for y'all. We've got 4 planets aspecting in Aquarius today. That's the sun. I feel like, what is these? Mercury, Mars, Pluto, and the sun. So if you know Aquarius is all about like that individual, that freedom, that I'm going to do it my way and I'm going to do what's right. Well, guess what? Even if it's what's right, a lot of people not going to be fucking with that. Even if they pretend that they put on a face, a lot of masks will fall. So today is the day. I know we talk a lot about, reaching the frequency. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. So if you made it this far in the chat, you feel me? Be ready to wear that crown. Be ready to put on that coat of many colors. You feel me? That Job reference. Be ready to put on the coat of many colors and be ready to watch your front, back, and side. But see, that's why you get close with your ancestors, elevated ancestors. That's why you get close with your spirit guides. That's why, if you're into the Orisha, you get close with your Orisha. That's why you call on your elevated ancestors during this time, not just your ancestors, because all your ancestors ain't rocking with clearing out generational curses. That's a fairy tale. You think that all your ancestors want to see change when, hell, half of them the ones that brought the curses on in the first place. So it's got to be carried on through the bloodline. But if you the one to bring a stop to it, you need to make sure you're saying, I would like help from my elevated ancestors. Be thorough with it now. Be very thorough. If you are called, by a spirit guide or an Orisha, make sure you're doing the proper offerings. Make sure you are, giving them things to assist in guiding you. A lot of misconceptions is around the fact that they feel like, oh, you worshiping the devil, or you talking to the dead, or you this, you that. People still exist in different planes and different spirits. Like, also, the Orishas are very heavy in it. If you've been called to that, then just know that's something that you can tap into. And a lot of times people like shade as far as like the different orishas that you can go to or that are calling for you based on the fact that you're not initiated in voodoo. But in terms of voodoo and orishas, some orishas are more general. And I feel like I talked about this at one point in like an episode before, so I may touch on it again. But there are orishas that are coming from just the Yoruba, and there's not like specific to New Orleans. They're not specific to certain locations and areas and tribes. Like there are orishas that the general practice of spirituality, will go to. Of course, you need to be gang in terms of like, black woman or black man, indigenous, you need to be that. But in terms of all of them, like there are certain ones you can still go to. Like Oshun is somebody that everybody go to. That's not nobody that's like sectioned off. So if you feel called, but you got to be respectful. You got to be like really about your business when it comes to these different orishas. I've started to touch on it. We will be doing episodes about this though, so that you can know. I am not initiated. I am a Cimarron. I don't think that I'm called. I haven't been called. So I'm more like indigenous, and my grandfather is from Jamaica. So I work with more of the Yoruba and the general Orisha that call for me. And then I work with my guides and my archangels, because obviously Hoodoo, Baptist centered, Christian centered. We had to utilize certain saints because we were being oppressed and murdered. So we had to utilize these. But once you get really into the study of shit, you will really see how so much of it like ties into one thing or the other. Like how certain saints were really certain orishas and certain, like, it's all the same thing for some places. Now, like I said, like Berum Samiri, everybody don't go to Baron. You feel me? Everybody don't call on him. Don't get to calling on Baron. Thinking you calling on Papa Legba or Elegua. Don't do that. Don't do that now. I'm not giving out that type of advice. But you just gotta be real clear, and you gotta do your research. That's why it's important for you to know your family lineage. It's very important for you to know where you come from, who you are, so you can make sure you're doing it right. Now, let's see. Like, we had to get serious for a moment because we finna get started. And there are going to be times that you going to need to call on these people. You going to need to, because your physical counterparts ain't going to understand your journey. Your partners, your family, they not going to understand. They not going to get it. So you going to need to have those spiritual ties that ground you. You going to need to be tight. You and spirit going to get real tight. Okay? You and spirit going to get real tight. So I just want to throw that out there. Again, we'll continue to have more discussions, but just kind of, I ain't trying to scare y'all off. I'm just trying to let you know, a little briefing. Like, hey, this is not, if you thought this was love and light, yeah, nah. We dancing with some shadows. We doing some transformation. We're having massive rebirths. Like, this is going to trigger something in you. Like, change is sometimes uncomfortable. And sometimes it's not only just uncomfortable for you, it's uncomfortable for people around you. But then you're going to discover that them the people that need to go. Don't try to hold on now. It's going to hurt. And I went through that too. Like, I'm going to talk to y'all so much about how I had visions and premonitions that people would betray me and people would do things and I didn't listen. And I still went against it and I paid for that shit. Spirit gave me a little love tap now. I got a little love tap, okay? Like, it got real, and it got real quick. So just be mindful. So that's a tidbit, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up if you need some guidance. Our Patreon does have like the family tree guide. There are different guides. This Evolved Hustler guide is going to help you with your finding yourself. Everything that I have is to help. Everything that I have available is to utilize. Like, it just makes the journey that much more easier. Sometimes just journaling just don't help. It's cool now. Journal, definitely journal, but that's not the only tool you gonna need. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's not the only tool you're gonna need. All right, y'all. So enough of that rant, right? So today we had, like I said, we had a lot of squares. Yesterday we didn't have as many squares. So just know, like, communication wise, things can get messed up. So watch what you say, watch how you communicate. Don't respond to BS. Don't get in your ego. Jupiter in Taurus energy. Don't get stubborn in your ego. And you want to make sure that you are utilizing your skills and your gifts and your intelligence to build your individuality and not impose your views on people who don't want to see. That's going to be very important for you during this time span, because it's only going to hinder you. Don't take time to be trying to prove to nobody. That's not the mission right now. You glow up and you show up by being your authentic self. And the people who are supposed to align with that shit, they gonna align with it. They coming along regardless. You ain't got to convince a motherfucker to do nothing. Okay? Okay now. Don't get off up into that. You ain't gonna have to convince them at all. So work on you, and then you will shine through, and then boom, that's it. And I had to learn that. So, yeah, they don't want me to say that. This throat chakra is getting unblocked today. Aries is ruling the root chakra, so this is all about you finding your step, you getting grounded in what you want to pursue, what you want to start. Let's see what else is going on. We got some conjunction with the node, so all that deep shadow work and that karmic shit is definitely flowing through the moon in Aries, and it is the Chirons, which are also in Aries. Yeah, so the air is thick. And Mars entered Aquarius the other day, so it was like, boom. It's a revolution, period. People is not feeling it, not with the rah-rah. So just make sure what you are fighting for is significant. It makes sense to you and to spirit and your guides. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about the sun. The sun is square Uranus. So, yeah, a lot of individuality and culture, like, issues still kind of pushing. So, the lines where at one point they may have been blurred, the lines are becoming very clear. People are deciding for themselves who they want to be, what they want to be, and they're being unapologetic about it. So, take that how you take it. Okay? So now let me see. What's today? We doing Mars. It's in conjunction with Pluto. So they kind of bouncing off each other today. It's conjuncting. So it's like lots of, hate it or love it type intros, some people are not going to be with it. Some people are going to be with the change. Some people not going to be with the change. But it's not, again, I implore you to not make your mission to try to make people understand your path. Like, if you can step out of that, you won't have no issues with this conjunction. Like, don't try to make them get it. They'll get it if they supposed to. Okay? I'm telling y'all. I learned, man. It's not worth it. So, let's go ahead and get this pull from the ancestors. I know I'm a little late in the afternoon, but I do be having to find it. I don't be wanting to force it. If you've been kind of listening to me prior to this, you know that's where I'm at with it. And I have to work on it. I guess on days that I don't feel it, I still try to post tips and information because it's useful. But I be having to find the words. Get to me what I need to channel. I used to say, sometimes I feel like anybody who got a word every day, it's I don't know. But the cars do be having tea every day, so maybe that's a teachable moment for me. Because at first I was like, how the fuck you got a word for a nigga every day? I don't got a word for you every day. But, hey, You live and you learn. These cards got something for you every day. The moon got something for you every day. So I get it. I don't be in the mood every day. Maybe I should say that. That's that shadow work. It's that refining. I'm a spirit having a human experience, just like you guys. But yeah, let's see what we got today, because I know these aspects are thick, and like it's been popping off on social media. People is opinion fucking based, okay? All right, ancestors, thank you for opening the portal and give us some information on what we need to move forward into this new identity shift, and any information we need to know, whether it be tea or productivity. Period. The one-liners. Anyway, all right though. Let's see. Let's get to the present. Okay, so we got. The foundation. So the foundation of what you're working with now is Railroad Bill, and that's in a sense that's the chariot. So that chariot energy is here letting you know it's time to move forward. It's time for you to keep going. Like, don't stop. Like Janae Echo said. We got the president energy of the daughter of coins in the upright. So you are feeling committed. You're feeling organized. And if you're not, you need to do so. Now you are in the presence right now, tribe of a father of knives energy, or you may very well be in this energy. So someone who is stubborn, someone who is a tyrant, that's air energy, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. And what is the near future looking like? We've got the big queen, which is the empress. So that is going to be Aries energy. Okay, so what's to show up is the nine of baskets in reverse, though. So you might be tackling or working with some issues that are affecting you emotionally. So let's see. Tell me more about this father of knives in the reverse energy, please. So we've got a three of baskets in reverse for these. This is not an energy you want to continue to collaborate and work with. This not gonna work. There's a tower moment coming. There's an ending here. This is an ending that has to happen, and you gotta go ahead and lean into it. Let it end like that railroad bill. The foundation of this entire reading is continue to move forward. Continue to remain committed to your own goals and what you are looking to build and establish. This energy is low vibe. It is all about nine of coins in reverse. It is all about like materialism and looking good, not necessarily being good. Clarify, yeah. So it's being revealed. This big mama card, which is the sun, which is Leo energy as well, letting you know like there's these energies are being exposed during this time. Like, you can't fake it till you make it. You can't be like a low down person and think you're not going to be able to hide that. These energies are not going to be able to hide it. And if you're in this energy, God forbid, neither are you. Okay? So focus on healing. These energies aren't healing. These energies aren't moving forward. Don't resist like healing. It's going to be a very noticeable thing when people haven't healed and done the work. We got a daughter of baskets that came out over there, so that's verifying. Like, you're going to have to become committed and loyal to yourself and to your healing journey, and what you are looking to rehabilitate in this moment. Yeah, there's a lot of energies here, Father of Sticks in reverse, that are not very concerned with leading or being visionaries. Just kind of just staying stuck, not going nowhere, being stubborn for no good reason. And Father of Coins, when you really need to be disciplined and focusing on your abundance and moving forward. So don't engage, man. Don't engage, don't be, don't become. You are what you eat. Tell me about the nine of baskets in the reverse. So yeah, there is an air of maybe you're worried about how you're going to make your goals and things come forth. But Spirit is saying the Seven of Knives is here for you to work on turning over a new leaf and really becoming more inept with what you're trying to do. Like, don't fall back, old habits die hard type thing. So don't fall back into that. Work on strategies. There's more than one way to skin a cat. and continue to move forward. We got the Three of Sticks in the upright. So yeah, continue to move forward, continue to look ahead, don't look behind you. Now is not the time to do that. You feel me? You want to keep going. You don't want to, there's a way being made for you, so you don't necessarily have to worry about being stuck. The only way you stuck, like I said yesterday's reading, the only way you're going to be stuck is if you allow yourself to be stuck. You're currently moving in Big Queen energy, so you're not letting nobody play in your face, and you're not playing in your own face. So continue to be that way. You know, anything fake, anything fraud, that shit is being exposed. It's being highlighted. You feel me? It really is. So don't allow yourself to be overtaken with that energy. Okay, so let me see what the traditional tarot is saying for us today. What they got for us. What the guides got. Let's see what the ancestors saying. Let's see. So we got the Knight of Swords. So yeah, Spirit is like not even playing. Spirit's like forge ahead. Keep going and keep going quickly. Run like hell is really what he's saying. With that Knight of Swords. Then we got the, what is this? It's an 8 of Wands, letting you know that stay committed. You will progress quickly. If you stay committed to the journey, if you stay organized, if you really just get in your bag, everything will work for you. You're going to have to continue to do the work, though. So, hey, you ain't going to be able to skip the hustle part of this, or the inner work. So don't think, again, this ain't all about money. This is also about personal development. So you can set your foundation to do what you're meant to do. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a path that they're supposed to take. So this ain't all about making money. This is also just about being who you're called to be, period. So that's 3, 6, so 7 of coins. So yeah, you're going to have to work. But you're going to make it to that Wheel of Fortune. No, the Wheel of Fortune just came out. So do the work. You will get your Wheel of Fortune. Now, there is an air of the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which is why, somebody trying to stop your plans. People are going to try to stop your plans, but you need to remain strong. They're going to try to stop this gift that God is here going to give you. Spirit is going to offering you the chance to have stability, to have what you need. But there are people who are trying to disrupt your plans, possibly with black magic. And that can be anything from gossiping to manipulation to actual doing the work, doing the root work. But continue to be strong. Continue to forge ahead, because at the end of the day, you feel me? You got to just work through it. You're a leader. You are confirmation. You're a leader. You are someone who's going to be able to do this. You to be queen, masculine or feminine. You're the queen. You're the leader. You're the person who's here to do this. Aries, that's the head. It's the first. Clarify, 3 Sticks. So you got to be particular about what you put your emotions into at this time. That can lead you astray and stop you from moving forward. We got that 9 of Cups in reverse with the Ace of Wands. So that, and it's going to stop you from having your new start. So don't be emotionally responding to shit right now. Get out of your head. Stop being impatient. The High Priestess in reverse. And let me see. Tell me about this 4 of Pentacles in reverse, please. Oh, you don't need to be sharing right now. Watch who you share with. Watch who you team up with. We got that 3 of Cups that came out over all that. So you really need to be using your intuition and being patient. And it's really time for you, to work on yourself and invest and pour into yourself this season, emotionally and financially. It's time for you to pour into yourself. We got the Queen of Cups in reverse, and not reverse. It's in the upright. So yeah, you gotta do this for you. And the King of Pentacles on the back. Yeah, we ain't playing them type of games this season. That's what Spirit just said. Not this time, baby. So let's see what the oracle is saying. I got like 43 minutes. I'm at 43. Let's see what I can pop my shit. Let me see. Tell me about the oracle, Spirit. Yeah, don't be lacking patience. So even though the Knight of Swords is here, it's still telling you may be lacking patience. but you're on your way to a victory. You're on your way. You won the race. I think I said that yesterday. You won. Make sure you're doing the work, though. Like, put in the work. Work in reverse. You got to have the courage to do the work, though. That's that. There's a lack of confidence. Why? Oh, there's a lack of confidence in transformation. Don't be not confident. You know, this all works out for you in the end. And be mindful. There's a collaboration here. Collaborate. Tell me about collaborate. It's not a secret. Don't tell them your secrets. Collaboration. Not cunning. You need to be, again, careful with who you collaborate this season. They're disguising themselves. They have on masks. It's time for you to be able to recognize and have discernment and realize who the handlers are and who the Agent Smiths are. These people have not healed and they lack wisdom. So, continue to grow, continue to move forward. And that's my word. On the bottom of the deck, hunt. Continue to hunt. Continue to move forward and do what you're supposed to do. And that is the reading for the transformation episode today, y'all. For real. That was pretty good. If you guys need any assistance, definitely look me up. I'll be more than happy to walk this path with you one-on-one for these 4 quarters of impact. Or if you just need an individual reading, I'm available for that, as well as doing any work for you with your business or creative endeavors. Make sure you guys like, follow, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And yeah. Oh, I'm going to put the visuals up per usual. We'll get it in at some point tonight. And yeah, we shall chat soon. Y'all ready for tomorrow? Ready to go to the jungle? We don't go to the mountain. We in the South. We go to the jungle. We go to the swamp. Period. Look, I can't play too much because I don't want YouTube to cut me short. But yeah, y'all ready? Because I sure am. I be ready for change. I love a good change. Watch out for these people, though. Watch out for the snakes. Watch out for them gators. Okay, y'all. Well, we shall chat soon. I love you guys. Let me know if you need me.